You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The National Assembly unanimously passed a constitutional amendment this morning, which will change who can and cannot run for office in future elections. Interior Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Seo Kang defended the law against international outcry that the law is undemocratic. Speaking during a meeting to review the draft amendments to the election law, Craig Sam-an, a representative of the National Assembly's expert committee, said that the draft law was properly prepared in accordance with the provisions of the parliamentary rules and the Constitution of Cambodia, and did not require any further changes. The new law contains 8 articles that reform the right to stand for election, including punishment for encouraging citizens not to go to the polls or destroying ballots. According to Craig Sam-an, those who incite people not to vote or destroy a ballot will face a fine of 5 to 20 million real, or $1,250 to $5,000, and will be deprived of the right to stand for election for 5 years. Meanwhile, political parties found guilty of these charges will be fined 10 to 30 million real, or $2,500 to $7,500, and they will be suspended from participating in elections for 5 years. Minister of Interior Seo Kang stated that the proposed amendment only affects the requirement of those who want to run for office and has nothing to do with citizens' right to vote. He said, quote, "To go to the polls or not to go to the polls is still the right of the Cambodian people. This does not force people to vote," end quote. The amendment was approved at 9 a.m. this morning with the support of all 111 National Assembly members, who all happen to be members of the Cambodian People's Party. It will now be sent to the Senate for approval before finally being submitted to the King for his official signature. According to the new law, those who do not vote in the 7th National Assembly election in July 2023 will lose their right to run for office in 4 consecutive elections: the 2024 Senate election, the 2024 Council elections, the 2027 Commune elections, and the next General National Assembly election in 2028. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Remnants of the missing OceanGate submersible Titan were found on the ocean floor yesterday, not far from the Titanic wreckage the sub was deployed to explore. Experts are saying the evidence points to a catastrophic implosion caused by pressure loss that instantly took the lives of the 5 passengers on board. The experimental submersible lost contact with its surface vessel, the Polar Prince, around an hour and 45 minutes into its dive on Sunday morning. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush was manning the vessel, accompanied by French mariner Paul-Henri Nargeolet, British billionaire Hamish Harding, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his 19-year-old son Suleiman Dawood, who paid $250,000 each to dive to the Titanic wreckage site 4,000 meters below. A multinational search was launched on Monday in hopes that the submersible could be found intact and in time to save its crew. However, U.S. Coast Guard Admiral John Moger explained that Thursday's discovery of debris is, quote, "consistent with a catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber," end quote. In an interview with CNN, Titanic director and deep-sea explorer James Cameron noted that sonar buoys were in place as of Monday and never picked up on any implosion. In fact, he said he received intel that hydrophones had picked up on sounds consistent with an implosive event on Sunday. He therefore believes that the incident occurred before the search efforts ramped up on Monday. He also explained that the carbon fiber hold used on the Titan was, quote, "completely inappropriate for a vessel that sees external pressure," end quote. He echoed the sentiments of many experts who say the experimental craft's design was fundamentally flawed and should never have been deployed as a tourist vessel. The search for the submersible drew worldwide attention and revealed a company history fraught with safety concerns from outside entities and employees themselves. The vessel operated in international waters and was therefore not regulated by any governmental safety standards. Driven with a Bluetooth PlayStation controller and a touchscreen, a CBS reporter noted that the company had, quote, "cut corners" in the submersible's construction when he did a story on the expeditions last year. In 2018, OceanGate's Director of Marine Operations issued a report calling for more testing as passengers could be endangered at extreme depths. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Chairman of the Cambodian People's Youth Party, General Hun Manet, instructed youth activists to study the party's history of achievements, like political programs and action plans, so that they have a solid foundation when convincing their peers and the masses to trust in the CPP. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
General Hun Manet met with the CPP youth yesterday in Strung Treng, where he said the noble mission of the Cambodian People's Party in the past, present and future is to work in the interest of our nation, our motherland and our people, and to continue on the path to internal progress. He also stressed the need for unity behind the shared Cambodian past, saying each of us have a different life path, but we're all Cambodians with the same background and the same homeland and identified by the same flag, represented by Angkor Wat. We need to look at the history of our common origins and progress to the present, as well as agree on the common goal for the future. He added that the past can teach people lessons in overcoming difficult situations, and the positive achievements need to be built upon the strengthened, especially when it comes to maintaining peace of all costs. He said, for the future, the goal is to build and strengthen the abilities of the Cambodian children throughout their development, because the youth is the core force in all affairs of the country that can guarantee the future of the hope of the nation and the people. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The search continues for a tourist submersible that lost contact with its ship while on a visit to the wreckage of the Titanic on Sunday morning. On board the OceanGate expedition sub, named Titan, are 5 passengers, including a Pakistani businessman and his 19-year-old son, a French diving expert, a British billionaire, and OceanGate founder Stockton Rush. The expedition costs $250,000 per person and is marketed as adventure travel. Contact was lost about an hour and 45 minutes into its descent towards the wreck of the Titanic, which rests on the ocean floor 4,000 meters below. The vessel was equipped with dissolvable sandbags, which theoretically should have detached from the sub after 14 hours, allowing it to return to the surface. It is possible the white submersible is on the surface of the Atlantic, blending in with the crested white waves, and nearly impossible to find. The vessel is sealed from the outside, so even if it is at the surface, passengers cannot exit themselves. Citing a U.S. government memo, CNN reported that banging sounds could be heard coming about every 30 minutes on Tuesday in the search area, although the source of the sounds has not been determined. With enough oxygen to last until this afternoon, it is unlikely that the vessel will be found in time to save the passengers. The situation has sparked conversations about the importance of regulations. The vessel operates in international waters, which means there is no oversight or inspection from any governmental body. Driven with a Bluetooth PlayStation controller and a touchscreen, a CBS reporter noted that the company had cut corners in the submersible's construction when he did a story on the expeditions last year. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush said that every submersible is a prototype and defended the vessel's integrity when it came to more important features related to passenger safety. This is the first time in the company's 3 years that a ship has lost contact with a submersible, which is not equipped with the technology to track its own location. In 2018, OceanGate's Director of Marine Operations issued a report calling for more testing, as passengers could be endangered at extreme depths. The company sued him for violating a non-disclosure agreement, to which he countersued for wrongful firing because of his raising safety concerns. A settlement was reached out of court. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The National Assembly will meet tomorrow morning to discuss and vote on the proposed constitutional amendments to change Cambodia's election law, along with 5 other laws relating to alternative energy development in the country. National Assembly President Heng Samrin will lead the meeting where the drafted laws will be discussed and submitted for approval. The government has asked that the laws be enacted before the upcoming general election on July 23rd. The Minister of Interior and the Ministry of Justice have drafted a new constitutional amendment to address the rights of those who do not vote themselves or discourage others from voting. The government has released multiple statements recently saying that voting is an integral part of being a good citizen and should be a requirement for anyone who wants to run for office. Prime Minister Hun Sen emphasized that once the new election law is reformed, those who do not go to the polls this year will not have the right to stand for election at any level in the future. Speaking to a crowd of factory workers in Kampong Cham last week, the Prime Minister said that his proposal to update the Constitution was due to opposition leaders violating people's rights by calling for a voting boycott this election. 5 more laws related to the development of renewable energy resources will also be discussed and voted on, including solar power plants in Pursat, Prevang, Kampong Chhneng, and Sveirean provinces, and a hydropower plant in Kokong province by Khmer Electric. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Leader of the Cambodian People's Youth Party, General Hun Manet, made the case for the CPP's relentless pursuit of peace and stability for the people to a crowd of young CPP members yesterday. He tasked them with protecting the party's peace and building a strong foundation for the party's long-term vision. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
General Hun Manet met with the CPP youth in Benteng Menchay yesterday morning, where he said that over the last 44 years, the CPP has accomplished many things since the overthrow of the Khmer Rouge, from rehabilitating the country following the genocide to saving Cambodians' lives during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also credited the CPP with the provision of equal opportunities in education, social infrastructure and healthcare during the country's rapid development. He said, "These achievements are not accidental. They are due to the CPP's clear policy of serving the people. Through these policies, the people are truly happy and led prosperous lives because of the party leaders have thought of all the ways that can benefit everyone to see the bigger picture." He added that the CPP youth have 3 main responsibilities: to maintain progress made by the previous generations, to build upon the progress in the present, and to lay a solid foundation for the next generation. In order to be strong partners in achieving the party's vision for the future, he asked the crowd of the CPP youth to protect the party's peace and stability at all costs, to respond to baseless accusations and tactics from extremists that incite the people, and to fight negativity by doing the deeds that serve the people. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Economy and Finance, or MEF, officially launched its 3rd phase of the Business Registration System on Information Technology Platform, or OBR, which aims to digitize and simplify the business registration process, saving business owners time and money. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
Phase 3 of the OBR went live this morning with a launching ceremony attended by the Minister of Economy and Finance, Deputy Prime Minister Un Ponmorirut, in addition of representatives from relevant ministries, institutions and development partners. The OBR is a major reform aimed at easing the burden of doing businesses in Cambodia by transactioning the business registration process and online platforms when information can be shared between the relevant stakeholders. Phase 1 of the project began on 15th of June 2020 and immediately changed the way Cambodian businesses was conducted by simplifying complicated procedures, reducing fees and expanding processes to use that take much longer. The 2nd phase of the project was launched on September 1st, 2021. The DPM Un Ponmorirut said that the 3rd phase extends the system by connecting to the information network to 7 more ministries as from today, and 5 more ministries by the end of July. With the additional data, the DPM says the registration procedures will be even more convenient and effective for those who wish to establish a legitimate business in Cambodia. The MEF Under-Secretary Kong Marie also gave a presentation at the ceremony to highlight the benefits of Phase 3. MEF Secretary of State Pan Pala confirmed that the Interministerial Technical Group continues to work closely with the relevant ministries, institutions and private sector to monitor, coordinate, implement and improve information technology initiatives in order to solve problems and addresses that need the private businesses. All phases of the OBR rely on the Cambodian Data Exchange platform, which decentralises data exchange to bring private and public organisations into the digital age. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Following the success of its new Phnom Penh campus, which opened in August 2022, the Golden Gate American School, or GGAS, has begun construction on a new site in the Mianchi district. The groundbreaking ceremony was attended by Minister of Defense, DPM Teaban, where the school celebrated the start of its 6th campus since being established in 1996. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
Speaking at today's ceremony, GGGAS General Director Heng Sokuntia said that the new Minche campus was only made possible due to the support and trust of the parents and students, along with the royal government that continues to contribute to the development of education in Cambodia. The new campus is estimated cost of nearly $23,000. The new building is located in Samdek Techo Hun Sen Boulevard in Phnom Penh's Dangkor district. The site covers an area of 5 hectares with a total of 32,585 square metres of indoor space, including administrative buildings, kindergartens, an elementary school, high school buildings, conference halls, student dormitories and gymnasiums. School athletes will have access to the football field, basketball and volleyball courts, swimming pools and playgrounds. The campus will accommodate approximately 2,500 students and can provide employment opportunities to about 500 teachers and academic staff. Deputy Prime Minister Tieman said that the welcome GGAS expansion and the contribution to the government policies aimed at the development. He added that human resource development is a top priority for the government and institutions like the GGAS and helping produce skilled leaders for the future. During the groundbreaking ceremony, students received awards for outstanding achievements. GGAS, established in 1996 and offers kindergarten in addition to courses in English, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, computer skills, marketing, administration and accounting. In 2009-2010, the school began offering general education classes in Khmer, English and Chinese for secondary education. They employed academic staff and teachers with strong education backgrounds, and their curricula are in line with the standards of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports. Upon graduation, GGAS students received 2 certificates, one from the Cambodian Department of Education and the other from the USA Certified High School Diploma. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
The Daily Roundup premieres every night at 8 p.m. on the EAC News channel, but the news day starts a full 12 hours earlier. EAC News' passionate team of reporters, writers, cameramen and video editors are hard at work around the clock, bringing you world-class reports on everything from local and regional news to the latest international stories and the most dramatic footage from around the world. It takes meetings, research, phone calls and emails. And that's before we even get out of the newsroom and into the field, shooting interviews and those pieces to camera. Not to mention into makeup and onto the set. The Daily Roundup, Cambodia's most comprehensive English language news show, premiering every night on the EAC News channel. Join us and subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss a thing. The Daily Roundup with me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and only on the EAC News channel. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Ratika Entertainment ក្រុមតន្ត្រីអាជីពកំសាន្តបែបស្រាលពីរោះមិនថ្លង់ភ្ញៀវរំភើបចិត្តពិធីរឹតតែអស្ចារ្យ Relax Ratika Entertainment ញ៉ាំងឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមានភាពអធិកអធម Ratika Entertainment ក្រុមតន្ត្រីដ៏ល្អសម្រាប់ក្រុមគ្រួសារលោកអ្នកសូមអញ្ជើញកក់ពីឥឡូវនេះសម្រាប់កម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកតាមរយៈលេខទូរស័ព្ទ 017 838 889 012 823 848 និង 016 823 848 តើលោកអ្នកចិត្តរៀបអាពាហ៍ពិពាហ៍មែនទេហើយពិបាករកក្រុមហ៊ុនថតវីដេអូផ្សាយផ្ទាល់ដែលមានគុណភាពមែនទេអស់កង្វល់ រាធិការជាក្រុមហ៊ុនទទួលស្គាល់លំដាប់អន្តរជាតិលើសេវាកម្មថតផ្សាយផ្ទាល់គ្រប់កម្មវិធីកម្រិត 4K ដំបូងបង្អស់នៅកម្ពុជារាធិការប្រើប្រាស់ឧបករណ៍ទំនើបម៉ាកល្បីធានាគុណភាពការផលិតតាមបច្ចេកវិទ្យាទាន់សម័យរាធិការនឹងជួយធ្វើឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមាន